Where were you when the pandemic started? I was in Almaty, Kazakhstan, and I had 10 hours to pack my bags to leave the country I called home for 2 years. For me, Kazakhstan was my second home. I made an effort to learn the local languages and fell in love with the beautiful nature and kind-hearted people of Kazakhstan. 5 years later, I decided to come back. Let me tell you why I fell in love with Kazakhstan and show you my most recent trip back to Almaty, where I reunited with people that made Kazakhstan my second home. Before we dive into how I discovered Kazakhstan, let me take you on one of Almaty's most famous hikes, Kok Zhailau. Despite having lived in California, it is here where I discovered my love for nature and the outdoors. We'll be going on this hike with my friend Tobe. Tobe really took the effort to help me learn more about the Kazakh culture, introduce me to her group of friends, and make me feel like part of the community. In the Kazakh language, Kok Zhailau means green pasture. Situated between the small and big Almaty peaks, it was a resting place for Kazakh nomads to camp and rest during their long journeys. Today, it remains a popular hike for locals and tourists alike. The 8-kilometer loop is moderately challenging, so we recommend that you pack plenty of food and water. Hi. Alright, we're at Aqua, which is like on the way to Medeo, and then we're gonna start hiking.
Okay.
To a place called Kok Zhailau. It's a 2-hour hike. A little steep in the beginning, but it gets really beautiful.
Okay.
So we're...
Alright, let's do this! Yay!
We have arrived. What do you think?
The top.
Look at that. We made it. The next day, we met up with our friend Dennis King, an American Central Asia specialist with expertise in Kazakh history, culture, and language. Check out walkingalmaty.com to learn more about his amazing Almaty walking tours and other initiatives. Dennis told us about these amazing hot springs in Alma Arasan that not even the local taxi drivers knew about, so we decided to go and check it out. We are at Alma Arasan.
Everywhere around us, you see tall pine trees and mountains, and behind us is a giant waterfall.
After a short 20-minute hike, we arrived at these natural hot springs and couldn't wait to get in and relax their sore muscles from the hike.
No way! We hiked all this way, and look!
It was such a magical moment. The warm water soothed our muscles, and it felt so surreal to be surrounded by such beautiful and majestic views. Into it was in 2015 when I took a leave of absence from college. I was visiting northern China, where my family's from. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I said, okay, let's just take a train to western China, where there's a lot of different cultural and ethnic diversity. I was in a city called Guja, which is literally right on the Chinese-Kazakh border. I said, okay, I'm only an hour from Kazakhstan, why don't I do it? Oh my, so I was really nervous. Up till that point, I've traveled a little bit throughout Latin America. I spoke Spanish fluently at that time, so I said, okay, that wasn't too hard, right? Because I could communicate with people. There was no language barrier. And it was for the first time where I was traveling to a region where I don't speak the language at all. Now in Kazakhstan, they speak both Russian and Kazakh. And back then it was you can't really find a lot of information online about how to even get there. So you have to take a bus, and the bus left at literally 5 a.m. in the dark. Took the bus. It's only an hour to the border, but the whole trip took 10 hours. I was the only guy with an American passport on the bus. So obviously, when I showed up at the border, they were just like, whoa, who are you? What are you doing here? But, it went all smoothly. I got stamped in. The bus dropped me off at an empty parking lot. And I had no idea where to go. So I have to jump in a car with the guy. he overcharged me so much. He ripped me out. He said like Turkmen tenge, which I understood because I only knew the numbers, right? At that time, that was around, gosh, like $20 when the rice should have been like $5 or $6. So yeah, my first impression of Kazakhstan wasn't great, right? But you know, throughout the trip, next day I had some time to explore, and through couch surfing, I got to know one of my Kazakh friends, Camila, and you know, coincidentally, she speaks Spanish. Like we both learned Spanish and love, you know, Spanish and Latin American culture. So we became friends, and you know, we met some of her friends, and we just like stayed in touch ever since. I started walking around Almaty, which is a really lovely city, you know, full of like very walkable, lots of green, lots of parks, and you know, you're only about 25 minutes from the mountains. And I remember leaving Almaty feeling, oh wow, you know, like I'm gonna come back to this place someday. It took a while, almost 5 years, but the day has finally come. We're going to Kazakhstan.
And how are you feeling now that we're going to Kazakhstan?
I'm very excited. I haven't been back to Kazakhstan since I was evacuated, and I'm just so excited to see some of my old students, some of my friends there, and it's going to be Grace's first time in Kazakhstan. How are you feeling?
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to meet your friends and all the people who have made you, you. Just got out of there after buying our tickets. Now heading on to the bus. Okay, we're on the bus.
We finally exited China. We got one of the most rare stamps, the Horgo stamp, between China and Kazakhstan.
So we're now on our second bus, headed to the Kazakh immigration.
Kazakhstan Respublikası. Yeah, across the border.
Which border?
It was the China-Kazakhstan border at the port of Nurjola, which is a new port. When we came out, one lady like started saying, Mister. I'm like, oh shit. What's so funny is they saw my passport. It's like, oh, America. It's like the, я родился в Китае, но потом я переехал в Америку. And you know, I was born in China and moved to America. She's like, oh, and it's like, she as well? And I was like, no, она родилась в Америке. It's like she was born in America. And she was like, oh, America. It's like, как там? How is it over there? And then my Russian is kind of limited, so I'm like, I was like, хорошо, не хорошо. She started laughing. I'm like, good, not good. Yeah. We're at the famous Korean Bazaar, Kok Bazaar. It's been around since the Soviet days. A traditional market selling dried fruit, meat, fresh fruits and vegetables, pickled veggies.
Whoa!
Okay, this is lamb, koi eti. You also have zhilka eti, which is horse. We got the horse meat section. See the sausage right here is the famous Kazakh kaza. So we use kaza to make Beshbarmak, which is a traditional Kazakh food. It's so good. It's like stuff with like lean and fat.
Pickled
Also, Korean
veggies.
pickled veggies. This is like the famous Korean pickle salad.
Ooh. So many kinds. Ooh. Let's see the flakiness. Wow. It's very airy and fluffy. I've been given a heads up that the church is right in front of me.
Right.
What? It's so colorful.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Look at this church.
We are at Panfilov, Pedestrian Street. This used to be one of my favorite places to hang out in Almaty. It just goes all the way down to like downtown, to Panfilov Park, to Arbat, and just like goes on and on. It's pedestrian only. There's plenty of benches, fountains. You see a lot of performers here at night. It's a very lively area here at night. Hello from Arbat. This is a very lively walking street in downtown Almaty. I used to come here, you know, just people watch, We'll walk around. There's a lot of restaurants, a lot of shopping around here. You got a supermarket. You got Shafran, which is a really good lagman place. Even late into the night, you can come here at like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. Of course, in the summer, fall times, it's just like very lively. Sometimes you got artists like playing music and stuff, so it's really nice to walk around. Cable car station for Tobe.
Sembar, kuanış mumbar, kosa da tağdır ayrılmaz kembar. Желайды жүрек, кім оны тыңдар, кім оны тыңдар.
So I knew that I always wanted to return to Kazakhstan, but at that time I said, okay, I ended my trip, I went back to college, got my bachelor's, got my master's. And when I graduated, that question hit me. It's just like, oh my gosh, what do I do with my life now? And I remember that during my first trip to Kazakhstan, I randomly met somebody there doing a fellowship called Princeton in Asia. So Princeton in Asia is a fellowship program for recent college grads that basically you get connected with an organization in different countries in Asia. The goal of the fellowship is to foster cross-cultural understanding between the US and Asia, through these cross-cultural experiences. And when I read that, I said, wow, this really feels like me. This is, what I want to get out of, after graduating. I've always been a avid advocate for cross-cultural experiences, language learning, etc. I just think it's such an important part of the human experience. They're looking for people who want that community experience, who wants to learn the language and work in the community and really get to know the community. And this is something I was looking for. So I interviewed for the fellowship and I got it. So that was the start of my 2-year working, teaching, and learning Kazakhstan.
Our key sound is he, ache. So one thing about the ache is, right, if I write the word hola, what do you notice about this right here? H is always silent, right? So this is not hola, it's hola, right? Hola, ¿cómo estás, right? Ache.
对我说你最爱的故事，我想了很久。
The most memorable was definitely, getting to know the local community, getting to know my students through the conversations we have in class, the discussions we shared. I feel like I've learned just as much from my students as, I was able to share with them. They also spark a lot of curiosity about, Central Asia in general. And I really learned to read every situation, perspectives with nuances. And I think, that's one skill that really has affected me to this day. Like, understanding those cultural nuances is really important, no matter where you are. The hospitality of the local people. It took a while though, when I got there, I didn't really speak Russian or Kazakh. But I really made a point to really learn both local languages.
Қазақша жақсы сөйлейсіз ғой?
Рахмет, мен тек қана аздап қазақша сөйлей аламын. Бірақ мен қазір қазақша үйреніп жүрмін және маған қазақша қатты ұнайды. Мен Қазақстанда жақсы көремін. Қазақ тағамдарды, адамдарды өте жақсы, өте керемет. Мен үйрене бастадым, өйткені маған қазақ мәдениеті қатты ұнайды. Тағамдары өте жақсы көремін. Мысалы, ірімшік, қазы, әрине. Қатты ұнайды. Плов, манты, бешбармак, әрине қымыз іштім. Бірақ бірінші рет маған ұнамады. Бірақ сосын жазда мен бір досыммен біз бірге Тараз қалаға бардым және сол жерде қымыз öte demdi.
Тараздың қымызын іштіңіз,
Иә.
ауылына бардыңыз ғой.
Ağını ya.
Қыдырып қалай екен? Қазақстанның ауылдары қандай?
Ağlar öte ademi, takıbat öte ademi, adamlar öte konakcay.
Қандай күшті.
People really appreciated the fact that, I was learning Kazakh, learning Russian. After a while, after month 6 or 7, I got really close with, one local friend who introduced me to more friends in her circle. And before I knew it, I was just getting invited to things left and right. It was so tough. It was March 2020. We all know what happened. Previously, I had planned to, stay in Kazakhstan for that second year and actually stay on for another year. And basically, we get this one email saying that we have to evacuate within 10 hours. Princeton, Asia bought us plane tickets home, which was great. They gave us a choice, actually, whether to stay or, be evacuated. And, just based on the global situation at that time, I made the painful decision to just wrap up everything. I didn't have time to say goodbye to my friends and students. It's shoving my drawers, my belongings to my suitcase. I just remember crying at the boarding gate, when I was saying bye to my co-fellows. I had 5 wonderful co-fellows there. And, I had no idea when I was gonna return to Central Asia. And it was really, really sad because it felt like something that was just cut short so abruptly. All the connections I took time to build, had just been cut short. It was really sad. I cried so much that my eyes, my skin was all irritated. I still remember that day. About to go into the building where I worked for close to 2 years. We took some time to walk through the small but beautiful campus of KIMEP, and it brought back so many nostalgic memories. The building where I held English club, the office where I stayed up to grade papers, and the classroom where my students surprised me on my birthday was pizza and sushi. While walking down the once familiar hallways of the university, I ran into a former student, Alina. Time flies. She's now working there as a lecturer, and I'm so proud of her.
Alina.
It's so nice to see you.
Sorry to butt in. No, not at all. I was wait, could it be?
Hi, so nice to meet you. I'm Grace. I'm Yongjian's partner. He's told me so much about KIMEP. Yeah.
You're here.
Yeah. Are you working here now at KIMEP? It's amazing. Alina was a student when I was here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Like a freshman or second year.
Hola. Bien, ¿y tú? Gracias.
Everyone remembers you from our graduates. We sometimes reminisce about the past.
Aww. Finally, I met with my former bosses, Dr. Jodis Smagulova and Dr. Karina Narimbetova. They were so surprised that I came back to visit Kazakhstan, and I thank them for their support and mentorship during my years as a PIA fellow at KIMEP. I just met with my, the Dean of the College of Humanities Education, and they were so happy to see me. I was so happy to see them because we never really got a proper goodbye, and she's a really busy person, but she took the time to, just talk to us and show us around a little bit, and I'm surprised they still remember me. We're here with 2 of my former students, Emily and Azamat, and they brought us here to try authentic Turkmen samsa. They're both from Turkmenistan. I didn't know, in Central Asia there's so many different types of samsas. We tried Uyghur samsa, right? We tried Uzbek samsa. So tell us a little more about, what makes this samsa special.
Yeah. Okay, so hello everyone. It's Azamat and Mindy. We're from Turkmenistan, meeting our dearest friends. So this is Turkmen samsa. It's called fichi originally in Turkmen language. So
and what I would add is, as a product manager, it's a special food as it's called fichi, similar to features. And so I really enjoy eating them. And they have several variations, but we tried the most original, iconic one, just plain beef. And yeah, it has, what I can say is the most special thing about it is just really juicy. Like you just try it once, you understand what I'm telling you about.
So I bite the top off a little bit.
That's right.
Like before my tongue even touched it, I can already taste it. So juicy, so flavorful. Meat is very fresh. I think the meat has some onions in it as well, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a pot pie, but much better. Like a pot pie and a samsa had a baby.
Like it's not your normal ground meat. The pieces are bigger. It's like bigger
Is
pieces
it like,
of meat.
do they mince the meat
That's
themselves?
right.
Yeah.
They don't put it in a blender.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is from us, Mindy and Azamat. It's you should see yourself.
Oh my gosh,
It's a
thank
present.
you. I'm so excited.
Yeah, this is from mouse. Yeah.
So we have 5 types of symbols, or like icons.
We call it girly.
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 We used to have similar carpets at our home, but
The real ones.
the real ones.
I love
But these
it.
ones, like I don't know whether you're gonna use them as mouse pads, or just keep them for your site. But
They're so beautiful.
These are our socks.
Oh, wow.
With Turkmen girls dancing.
Oh.
So this is our brand in Turkmenistan. Very cool one, like Kazakh Republic in Kazakhstan. You should see it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So these are Turkmen women dancing.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you.
Time flies. My former students are all grown up now, and I'm so happy for them. The following night, we met up with my former Kazakh teacher, Adisa, and a few other friends at a traditional Kazakh restaurant to try amazing food while enjoying music.
Okay, my first time trying, what's it called? Arasan.
Oh, this is
Oh,
cute.
wow.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the
Beignet.
beignet. Wow. It's very fluffy, crispy on the outside, and this gives a little sweet contrast. Are you a food blogger? No? Aspiring food blogger.
With horse meat, kaze. It's horse sausages with meat and yes, meat and a bit of vegetables.
My first time trying horse meat. My very first time. Wow. Not bad at all. Okay, trying the horse sausage. Get the fatty part. Oh. Wow, the horse sausage is really good. I like it.
To show appreciation for a friend's hospitality, we gifted them with traditional oolong tea and some postcards from Fuzhou, Grace's ancestral hometown. We're gonna meet up with some of my former students. So we're here in Almaty 5 years later with 2 of my former students, Fariza and Layla. Do you want to say hello?
Hi everybody.
After having to leave Almaty on such a short notice, one of the things I missed the most were, my students and how amazing they are, and, it just makes me so happy to see a lot of them again. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet up with me, and, I'm so proud of all of them for...
Thank you.
And how was Yongjian as a teacher?
He was great. Yeah, he's an incredible teacher, and he really knows his students, and that's worth a lot.
No trip to Kazakhstan can be complete without being invited to a local family's home for Beshbarmak, the national dish of Kazakhstan. My friend and former co-worker at KIMEP, Sasha, invited us to her home to share a special night with her family filled with delicious food.
Thank you so much to you and your family for welcoming us to your home and for making us this dish, which is the national dish of Kazakhstan. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm very excited to try this.
That's why you have
so
to cook
soft.
it for so long.
Yeah. That's why you had to cook it for 3 hours, 4 hours?
Yeah.
It also helps that this has like part of it is like fatty. It makes it more juicy.
Yeah.
It makes them more juicy.
The meat is so well done, the kaza just melts in your mouth. If this were a 10, the restaurant is like a 4. Sasha and her uncle also entertained us with their musical talents. To show my appreciation for Almaty, I also decided to sing one of my favorite songs, Sağındım Almatımda, which means I miss you, my Almaty.
Sağındım alma bağı, araylı almatımda. Sağındım aklımda, sağındım gülümde. Almatım sıyladın sen, araylı şatığımda. Kalaydı canım cırda, bulmaydı yanımda. Akıngıl pek sezinde, dostlarım sağındırdı.
Thank you so much for joining us on our Kazakhstan homecoming trip. Stay tuned for our next video in Kazakhstan's brother nation, Kyrgyzstan, where we attempt to reunite with an ethnic Dongan family that I met almost 7 years ago, but don't even have their address. How did we manage to find them? Did they even remember me? Watch our next video to find out. Subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram at GraceandYJ to get the latest updates about our exciting travels.